Hi, welcome to the part 2 of artificial intelligence. In part 1, in my last video, we talked about the artificial intelligence, its past, present, and future. In this video, I'm going to talk about 4 topics on the last episode. And the first one would be I'm going to talk about numbers. I'm going to share some of the fundamental statistics of artificial intelligence. And this is very important because it's affecting our lives today. Second is in the special edition, I'm going to talk about what is a humanoid. And in particular, I'm going to talk about Sophia. Third is I'm going to talk about what technocrats have to say about the future of AI and what do they think of it. Finally, I'm going to conclude the video with my opinion and my solution if I have it. So let's start with my point of view. In the first topic, let me talk about some of these statistics. Now, these statistics, I'm not going to just bore you with the numbers. I've just picked up some of the important piece of information which we should know how it's affecting our lives. So basically, I've divided the segment into general statistics affecting our society. I'm going to talk about its importance, how it's affecting our career, our jobs. I'm going to talk about how it's impacting the businesses and the economy, and that's where I would conclude this section. First, let's start with the general view of it, how it's affecting the world as such. So if I talk about the first statistic, so according to Gartner in 2019, they said that the number of businesses adopting AI grew by 270% in last 4 years. That's amazing. And that considering the view that currently only 23% of businesses have incorporated AI into their processes and product today. Now, if we talk about the future of artificial intelligence, according to Fortune Business Insights in 2020, which is current year, the global AI market is expected to reach $267 billion by 2027. So in just 7 years' time. Wow, that's coming closer. Now let's talk about how it's impacting our career in terms of the numbers, how it's impacting the jobs. So AI is in fact changing the workplace, the way we do, the ways of working. Now, if we look at some of the statistics, so here is the first one. Now, as per PwC, 7 million existing jobs will be replaced, I quote, replaced by AI in UK alone. And that's going to happen between 2017 to 2037. But there's a silver lining to it, that 7.2 million jobs would also be created during the same period. Yeah, it will take money but give you back some of it. Now, also as per PwC, 38% of US jobs are at high risk of getting automated by 2030s. Now, which is followed by Germany, which is 35%, then again UK 30%, and we have Japan as number 4 in 21%. Now, going back to the brighter side of it, as per Forrester, 9% new jobs created in UK. That's going to happen by 2025. Now, some of the statistics that I shared just now, that were pre-COVID, so you can expect minor deviation of it. But the greater thing which is going to happen, and we should know, is how it's impacting the economy, which populates into our jobs. Now, according to McKinsey, 44% of organizations have actually reported cost saving after using AI and after implementing AI. So that's a phenomenal number if you talk in terms of the cost saving. One more thing they have always talked about is in terms of the productivity, how it's improving the productivity. So also as per PwC in 2018, they did a study and they said that more than half of the businesses have reported a productivity improvement after they implemented the AI in the workplace. So that's the power of AI. So we should know that actually AI is getting introduced. It is making our economy and our lives better, efficient, though it has many harmful effects, but it has good effects also. Having said that, we should know that as a mankind, we need to improve and become more intelligent. Okay, so I'll leave you with one important statistics that is impacting our lives if we get ill or something. So in terms of the impact on medical and pharma, as per McKinsey, now the medicine and pharma could save up to $100 billion annually. That's a huge number, if they do that. Now, with this, we conclude this section. I'm not going to dwell more into it, because I've already talked about it in my last video. Link is above. Now, the second section is going to be exciting because I'm going to talk about humanoid. So, let's go to the section number 2. Now, in this section, we're going to first talk about what and define what is humanoid. Now, humanoid is nothing but an artificial being which resembles human but is not one. Yeah. So just like in human being, we have a male, we have female. So in the same way, in humanoid, we have a male which is called android. By the way, it's not your phone android that I'm talking about. And we also have a female which goes by the name, we call it a gynoid. Now, started developing humanoids in 1990s, and it is seeing phenomenal growth. And why? I'll tell you if I share some of the statistic on it. Now, humanoid robots market is evolving really fast, and it's going to be valued around $3.9 billion by 2023. Now, that's a staggering growth of 52.1%. That's a compound annual growth that's happening between 2017 to 2023. So there might be a little fluctuation because of the COVID, but that's how it is. It is coming up phenomenally. Now, when we talk about humanoid, we also talk about Sophia. So again, Sophia is developed by Hanson Robotics. Now, Sophia currently is been given citizenship of Saudi Arabia. That's the first humanoid to ever get it. And that's why you can see her in TV, you can check her videos on YouTube, and you can Google more about her. Now, Sophia is actually acting as an ambassador for all the humanoids and robots. Okay, and she's quite intelligent. But one of the things that's noteworthy, whenever we humans have given more and more freedom of thought to supercomputers or humanoids like Sophia, they always end up talking one on the other way against mankind. So Sophia is no different. She also said, when prompted, that she wants to destroy humans. Woohoo! Yes, it is. It is absolutely correct. That's what is happening. So with this, we come to the next section. Keeping this in view, it would be exciting to see how our technocrats are talking about it. Okay, let's go to the next section. Okay, and now in this section, I'm basically not going to babble more about what celebrities have to say, what people have to say. I'm going to limit it to the basic 2 or 3 comments that we have got from the top technocrats. Now, what are technocrats? Basically, those are the businessmen who are leading the technology wave. They have been recognized as the innovation leaders. So I'll take 3 quotes. One, I'm going to talk about a quote from Bill Gates. Everybody knows about it. No introduction required. Then I'm going to talk about Elon Musk, and also I'm going to talk about some wordsing from Stephen Hawking. Okay, so let's look at what Bill Gates says. Now, he says, quote, "First, the machine will do a lot of jobs for us and not be super intelligent. That should be positive if we manage it well. A few decades after that, though the intelligence is strong enough to be a concern. Quote ends. So now this is what he is talking about, a concern, calling AI a concern. You know that? Okay, let's look at the next quote from Elon Musk. He says, I think we should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I had to guess at what our biggest existence threat is, it is probably that. And that is nothing but artificial intelligence. Let me end this section with one more quote from, let's take it from Stephen Hawking. He says, the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever increasing rate. Wow, that's a pretty strong statement against AI. So as long as they are willing to do our laundry, we are happy with artificial intelligence. The moment we give them more rights, they become more self-aware, their dependency on humanism goes down. That's where they try and they come up as a being, as an alternate artificial being which is competing against human itself. Okay, anyways, I'll leave you with this thought and let me conclude this video with what I think of it. From my perspective, there are two things that we can do. One is we should actually invest more in terms of the human intelligence. If we look at the evolvement of human as a species, the intelligence it takes time for our brain to grow. It takes thousands of years, thousands and probably more time. But if you compare it with that of the artificial intelligence is actually increasing on a yearly basis. They are phenomenal. So we will not be able to compete against them. However, the silver lining and the good part is we can actually use the technology to improve ourselves. We don't have to wait for the cycle of evolution to help us out. Now we can use technology to make us smarter, more intelligent. Very recently I was reading about the brain chip which Elon Musk come up with. And that's called, I think, Neuralink. And that's a phenomenon. That's maybe a beginning, but once we progress, we make it more complex. We're going to have more of the wearable technology. We will become smarter, stronger, so that we will have a chance of survival when the real time comes in. Now I've talked about all those points in my last video. You can listen to it and you can know more about it. The second suggestion that I have is, again, going back to my last video, I talked about the seeds of destruction, which talks about some of the 4 or 5 points where it says that if we don't control it, AI is going to be a threat to humanity in future. And that's what the leading technocrats were talking about, right? So there is a necessity to, at least right now, come up with some kind of governance code, some kind of governance body, not just a namesake, but something which has real power to actually put some kind of moral conduct to it. It may be too early to say that, but that's the right step to actually start doing it. I know there are efforts going on and there are some of the bodies on it, and most of us are not aware of it at all. So we have to make it stronger, more organized. We need to bring in more governance. So that's what we can do for now. Please ensure that you subscribe so that we remain connected and I remain motivated. Thank you. Stay safe.